Everybody, in order to love about basketball, especially in 2021, that it really was an unpredictable season. And we have so much to reflect on, especially how this unpredictable NBA Finals ended. But without further ado, I have the best NBA crew to talk hoops with in the whole podcasting sphere. Once again, here's the NBA crew for the Productive Conversations podcast. Alex Ranniello, what's up, buddy?
Man, my fam, how we doing?
Great to see you. We have Fresh Faces New Ideas host David Bach. What's going on, David Bach?
Hey, good to be here. Got an interesting weekend for debates and stuff. So make sure you tune into the channel.
Let's definitely check that out. Go to his Twitch streams at Fresh Faces New Ideas. And then we have the hosts of the Word for Word podcast, Dolo Ren and Barz the God. What's up, homies?
What's going on? What's going on?
All right.
Been waiting to talk to y'all, man.
Definitely.
It's been a minute.
And let us make the most of our time now here in this reunion. So, on last Tuesday night, we had the NBA Finals come to an end. Lots of us said it's going to the Suns.
Yeah.
But nope, we're all wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I'm wrong. And a final score of final breakdown of 4-2. The Milwaukee Bucks are your NBA champions for the first time since 1971. And, well, lots to unpack there. I mean, well, it's the Bucks who won. I mean, where do we start, really? I mean, we could go off with the Suns. I guess Chris Paul is a curse, blowing another 2-0 lead. Could we talk about Giannis actually getting a ring to his legacy now on top of his MVP awards and rock and rolling there? That's something to take into account. We could talk about other people stepping up huge, your Chris Middletons, your PJ Tuckers, and Drew Holidays especially. Coach Budenholzer, who we all at one point thought he should be fired. He's now an NBA champion as a head coach. I mean, I'm going to leave it up to the floor. What do you guys think of this insane outcome? Maybe some of us saw it coming. I mean, we all predicted the Suns, so maybe not really, but hey, I don't know. I'm just going to let it out there. So whoever wants to start with it, tell me your thoughts on the Bucks winning it all.
I mean, how do you stop a guy who realistically shouldn't be played? Like watching Giannis get hurt that first time, and then he basically had one like bad game. That was game one, and then he just progressively got better to the point where he dropped 50 points in the closing. It's like, wasn't it like the 8th 50-point game in the finals or something like that? And
first one in the clincher too.
What? First one in the clincher? It's like, I mean, the last 50-point game LeBron lost. The fact that it's like the Wilt's 100-point game. All the things came together for him where he went 17 for 19 for the free throw line. Like he hadn't shot well for the whole season, and he just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to win the whole thing. And he did. I mean, you watched him, you going to the second half, like halfway through the third quarter, you're like, he's going for 50. They had no answer for him. And I think that was really the thing that changed it, is just he decided, you know what? I don't care if I missed 80 free throws in a series. I'm just going to batter you down because you have one big man, and we'll just deal with everything else. I mean, he opened the game with the Mikal Bridges block.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I remember that.
The fact, like, now we're talking about it. So there's the category that he's in is 3 people. It's him, Olajuwon, and Jordan. They're the only 3 players to have an MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and a Finals MVP. There should be a 4th player, but Kawhi got robbed when James Harden won the MVP. But that's a discussion for a different time.
Okay. Striking that last comment aside, right? I agree with everything Batch said. Can't even argue with him at all. Let's just talk about since block is the word here, let's just call like, all right, the block that he made, that everyone was talking about was like legendary. That wasn't the greatest block. You want to talk about the block to me? That was the greatest block. It was whoever blocked Book. And was that Giannis?
Which
Yeah, I don't know. Whoever fucking blocked Book on that alley oop, yeah, that was it. Listen,
Yeah, that was a hell of a play.
that was my yo. And then Giannis was blocking things for the life of him, so to the point where he got a goaltending, I think, in that closeout game. But yo, defense wins championships.
Oh yes.
And Giannis proved the fuck out of that. Let's shout out Drew Holiday, stepping the fuck up. My boy
He
came a
stepped
long
all the way
fucking
up.
way from my boy came a long fucking way from Philly. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen, Drew Holiday was a yammer, never really a three-point specialist, but he would hit them threes on you. But he was a player that you'd have on a team. Nick Young won a ring before fucking Drew Holiday did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Doesn't JaVale McGee have like 4 rings?
who?
JaVale McGee. How many Warriors teams was he on?
JaVale McGee got like 3 rings. 3-time champion JaVale McGee. My boy in Chicago right now is cringing every time I say that. So listen, like, yeah, that's all I gotta say. Defense won that chip. Chris Middleton, we talked about it. And he snapped. He must have saw our podcast. He must have saw your podcast, Matt. And he saw me.
I think the whole Bucks was watching our podcast.
He saw me call him Fish Middleton. He saw me call him Fish Middleton, and he went and found Dory. Like, like, yeah, he got his ring. So, hey, it is what it is. I give him that. Yeah, championship Bucks. I don't give a fuck. I'm not a fan, but hey, it is what it is. They did that.
They dominated the glass too, and like we said, it would boil down to how self-recognizable the Bucks would be. Like, would they be able to get out of the 3-point slump? Would they just dominate the paint? You know, would they out rebound them? Would they D up CP3 with Drew Holiday? And they did all those things, and then they just let Giannis go to work. Because I think at the beginning of the series, we said, like, Giannis is going to get his, but who's going to be the second guy to come along with them? And not only did he get both of them, but he had Drew on lockdown on CP3, and they exposed Ayton. I mean, Ayton was on an island the whole series. I was surprised Monty Williams didn't build a wall. That was the only thing I didn't see coming. I mean, I knew these guys were both inexperienced when it came to the finals, but I mean, the fact that like you don't even try to build a wall and help out Ayton, and losing Saric game 1 was huge.
It's not that they couldn't build a wall; they didn't have the bodies.
They didn't have Saric.
They could have had the bodies though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but like it's not that they're okay. So first off, they have finals experience. Budenholzer won multiple rings with the Spurs.
Yeah, but he wasn't
not as head coach.
No, not as head coach, but you know, when you're learning under the 4th best coach of all time, you know.
No, fair enough, but also.
No, I know. To be fair, I still think he should be fired.
Facts.
What I'm saying is the indictment on Budenholzer the whole series and years before is that he never makes in-game adjustments. He rode the course, but he wasn't the prime decision maker in San Antonio. It was always Pop. So it was interesting to see how he would be able to attack CP3 with Drew Holiday and how he would be able to play the switches, how he was going to manage Bobby Portis's load and Brook Lopez's load on the pick and roll, because they looked like those guys were out of whack the first 2 games because they were leaving him on an island on defense. But he figured it out. He just played it safe. I mean, he played it calm, and they came back and won 4 in a row. So props to him, man.
I just want to interject.
Absolutely.
I just want to interject that Bat said that Dario Saric was out. That's big. Didn't realize that. That's big.
Yeah.
That's a body. Like that's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he started, but if he came up, exactly. He's on the bench. That's a piece on your secondary that's missing. Like come on, like this shit is madness. And Saric was on that fucking playoffs Philly team with Jimmy Butler and shit.
Yep.
So Saric is no scrub. He's one of those foreign players that gets his, but like, you know, he's been relegated to the bench, but yo, it's okay. Like, but that shows you that they, you know, CP3 was a scrub with the handles for the first like 4 games, 3 games. I don't know.
It's coming out like 2 weeks that he's hurt.
Yeah, you're right. What? Nah, he wasn't hurt. It was some
He
kind of
was
bullshit
done.
protocol.
He had COVID. He had COVID.
And he had
No, I think
no,
his
he
hands
had
fucked up.
protocol. He had protocol. He didn't even get COVID. But
No,
Giannis
he's
was hurt
not.
too. So like, what are we saying?
Giannis
Yeah,
was
no,
exactly.
but that's the thing.
So we can't call that card. Don't pull that injury card because Giannis came off an injury and, like you said, that progressively got better, scarily. Like it was ridiculous.
Definitely, guys. Let me ask now. So, hitting up things for the Bucks, make excellent points, all of us here, but we have to talk about what went wrong with the Suns. Up 2-0, couldn't have any more momentum. It really looked like they had this in the bag. People are going far as Suns in 5, Suns in 4, whatever. And they lose 4 games in a row in the Suns. Whether it's just the progression of Booker and, as you said, Ayton declining, Jay Crowder wasn't getting shots like he was supposed to. I mean, I felt like, what was it, game 5 when it was neck and neck and Chris Paul literally fell on top of the key right before the end of the fourth quarter. That seemed like it was the beginning of the end. But again, I'll throw it to the floor. What went wrong with the Suns, guys? What went wrong?
Real quick, let me just start it off so I can just get my thoughts out the way real quick. What went wrong is, but amidst a few mistakes, the Bucks just turned up. That's nothing really went wrong. The Bucks just turned up. If you watch the game, Chris Middleton could not miss. He could not miss. They could not stop Chris Middleton to save anyone's life. Drew Holiday was a defensive god. Giannis James was literally like Giannis James Jordan was literally like Abdul Jabbar stepped up for his franchise. He had the legend in the bleachers, sitting on the sidelines watching him play. Literally nothing went wrong. Everything just went right for the Bucks.
At 26 years old too.
Everything just went right for the Bucks. What went wrong is Ayton got exposed. CP3 just flopped out a couple games, but that's basic mistakes. But aside from that, the Bucks, everything just went right for the Bucks. Like we said, what we thought they couldn't do, they turned around and did. So I don't know. That's my thoughts.
I think Monty Williams got exposed too, because like I said in the beginning, I think he had multiple opportunities to switch things up. I mean, he had a lot of things going at home for them. And they looked really fluid on offense in the first 2 games. Defensively, they just didn't switch things up and make it difficult for Milwaukee.
I think it's more that they just didn't have the personnel. And a lot of it is historic shit that they lost on. Game 5, where they shot 60% from the field and 50% on threes and 20 attempts. The last 12 times that's happened, the team has won by 20 plus points, and they lost that game. It's hard to come back when you have that type of statistical advantage. The answer is Milwaukee knew they couldn't outshoot them. By every statistical measure, Phoenix was the better shooting team. Just the eye test. Watching Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday shoot is painful. And the fact that the Bucks just decided we're just going to bury you in rebounds because they were just so big. This is what we wanted them to do against Brooklyn. If they'd done this against Brooklyn, I don't think we would have gone to game 7 because they realized that they could have just buried them the same way.
That axe murder of a dunk by Brook Lopez on DeAndre Ayton.
And look, Mikal Bridges missed a dunk. Devin Booker missed that open 3. DeAndre Ayton, having a little more offensive game would have helped him. He's just, he's still young. And then there's a lot of other little things.
Him being better period would help him.
Look, this is his first real time in the playoffs. Scott Foster, I imagine not reffing any of these games would have helped. CP3's 2-17 against him or something like that. But it's
there was bad officiating. There was a lot of bad officiating.
Yeah, especially
I didn't want to call that though. I didn't want to.
Yeah,
I was joking about the Scott Foster.
Okay.
Look, they said we're gonna let one of your guards beat us. And then they did, and they couldn't do it. Like they were fine with one of them going off, and they shut down the 3-pointers from the corner after game 2 was like 0. The ability for the Bucks to rapidly close on defense, and they knew that like they were just going to attack the boards. Lopez had that coast to coast like Euro step, and then he had like multiple cuts into the paint at the end to put them up. He had that little floater. I think honestly that game Giannis went out when Lopez went like 17 for 19 or whatever he did against the Hawks was like reminding Budenholzer that, oh yeah, this guy's actually an all-star who averaged 20 points a game for like multiple seasons before he figured out how to shoot the ball on a team that had like basically the 4 of us playing with him. It's not like they had the players. They had the size, and this was a matchup that Phoenix couldn't upsize, but Milwaukee could downsize with them if they had to. Like they just really just lacked the bodies. They needed, one more big guy. They needed realistically like a DeMarcus Cousins to come off the bench to spell Ayton, so that they can have the bodies. Their wings were like Mikal Bridges is fine for dealing with like the Middleton types, but their best option was Jay Crowder against Giannis. They didn't have the size to handle him. And he just said, okay, I'm going to get you all in foul trouble. And then PJ Tucker realized, oh, wait, CP3, I can actually go and get an offensive rebound. So I could have like the perfect PJ Tucker game where I shoot one time and have 15 rebounds and 12 tackles.
No points.
No
Nothing
points.
Else.
0 for
Nothing
1.
else.
I mean, they decided we're going to play.
Defensively, he had a nice stat line, though, defensively.
And you know what, Alex? Now that picture means something.
Yeah, you're with an NBA champion.
Yeah, it does. Well, I was I texted him. I texted him before game 6. I said Bucks and 6. You know what I mean? So
I said 6 games.
I'm about to make that picture my wallpaper.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy? I was at work and I told my coworker, and it's crazy because I have a track record of teams that I choose to win actually losing. I have a track record. Nah, it's serious.
I mean, most people do, unless there's like an overwhelming team. Like other than like the Warrior KD seasons, it was like pretty. It's kind of a crapshoot.
Dude, every team that I have chose to win. I chose the Kansas City last year. You know what I'm saying? Like
you're like Stephen A, bro.
Yeah.
Stephen A did that every year.
Yeah, up till the Durant years, he got like the 7 in a row wrong or some shit.
Listen. I'm like 1 for 12 on picks in the finals when it comes.
I've been wrong one time for like the teams that I've been rooting for. I've been wrong one time, and that's because Ray Allen traveled.
Reverse handicappers, I see. So,
yeah,
my friends, why don't we talk about the Nugget loving MVP of both the finals and the league, now an NBA champion, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Wow, I can't believe it, boss. Yeah, all right.
You got it.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Hey, it's okay.
Good enough.
Dolo still calls him Giannis.
Hey, make the G capital though. Gotta make the G capital.
Oh my God.
We're gonna be seeing him for a long time now.
Yo, guys.
Greek.
From
fuck around and call us Malakas.
Yo, from the reaction I got
I like
and
Malakas.
saw,
They're delicious.
let's be real. Giannis is definitely someone to root for. He's great. I think a lot of people are very happy to see him get that ring. I mean, the transformation he got from earlier in the decade to now, he's made his mark and led the Milwaukee Bucks to a finals
Luckiest
win.
ring ever.
Okay, we could explore that, but I want to talk about the impact with that. And excuse me, whether it's like you said, the luckiest ring ever, as some people claim to be, whether it's pure skill or made a great comeback, I think you all agree. I feel like the internet and Instagram after Giannis won, everyone was a Giannis fan, making him their favorite player all of a sudden. A lot of closet Giannis fans coming out that night, but hey, good for them. But all in all, he is a champ. But I want to ask you guys, what does this mean? Is this a fluke ring? Is it like the Pistons winning and when Ben Wallace was a champ? Or is this more of a, He finally made his mark like Kawhi Leonard. Was it a legendary finals performance and enhance a legacy like that? Where do you feel on the spectrum? What do you think, Barz? I see you're nice and animated with this. Talk to me, buddy.
I love when you come to me when I'm animated. I love it. Like, it's just because you know my thoughts right away are instant. How dare you disrespect my boy Chauncey Billups? How dare you disrespect my boy Rip Hamilton and my boy Rasheed Wallace and my boy Ben Wallace? How dare you disrespect what's dude's name?
Tayshaun Prince.
Tayshaun Prince. Like, how dare you? First of all, that was no aberration team, and they went back and almost repeated.
Hey, they did it though, almost as only good. And
can Giannis go back?
Horseshoes.
Can Giannis go back and repeat? And if he can, then that'll put him in great company. Don't disrespect them like that. If anything, you should say anything like something like that to Toronto Raptors team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Kawhi Leonard was the easiest thing. Luckiest.
Anything, say something.
I hate when people say like fluke with like these rings. It's like look, they stayed healthy the whole season. They were prepared, and they were diligent, and they had the game to beat these teams in front of you. Play who's in front of you. Like, I don't like the argument of like, oh, it's a fluke year. Like, you can say that about every ring in history.
Like, no such thing as luck type thing.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he didn't get hurt right before the finals. Like, right. You saw that injury, you're like, that's it, he's done.
Facts. Say it again. Because at the end of the day, you got to look at this, right? You got to look at this. If James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant were all healthy and playing on that fucking team at the same time, all fucking year, chemistry build, solid team, do you really think we talk about Milwaukee Bucks right now as championship?
Yeah, you could say
I'm getting my best Stephen A on it. Do you really think we're talking about Milwaukee Bucks?
Okay, but it doesn't matter. They were healthy.
But that's what it could have, should have, though.
If Durant's foot was an inch smaller, we wouldn't be having this conversation either. But things happen the way they happen. The dude, look, Giannis he's going to forever have a ring. He's never gonna have to be that guy worried the Chris Paul situation where you're 16 years in the ring, like waiting for that to get that monkey off your back. He's done it. It's going to play with you. He's going to be able to play with a different type of looseness. This is how Bill Simmons described Dirk after Dirk won that ring, where he was just like, I've done it now, and I don't care. Like I've been to the mountaintop, and I've seen how to do it. So I don't ever have to hear people telling me I'm soft or you can't win with me. I can just live my life and play basketball how I want it. And look, the kid is 26. They could win again. Look, we don't know what's going to happen with this Nets team. The Laker news today is really nice for Laker fans. We don't know what's going to happen with the Clippers. They could very well run it back next year. We don't know.
And which Laker news is that?
The Laker news that the Toronto buddies want to hang out in LA again with Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan both want to go there.
Oh man, that would be fun. Okay, but Giannis. Okay, what else do you have to add?
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
And it's not like we're talking about like the dude is in, like, the company he is in is historic company. We're not talking about we're talking among the greatest to ever play. Now he's right up there, the top, 15, 20 players of all time at this point. And he's 26. He's only going to get better. At some point, he's going to figure out how to shoot something. And maybe next year they'll realize, oh wait, we actually do need a point guard at some point. Dante DiVincenzo will be back next year. I still don't believe it, Bud. But
you said DiVincenzo, come on, bro.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't have to play Jeff Teague ever, or
he was actually a decent role piece.
Yeah, that would be decent.
But
then you said Jeff Teague, and I remember. Now Jeff Teague is a champion. Now Jeff Teague is a champion.
That's crazy.
Look, the players of this Bucks team, it's very hard to root against them, especially Giannis. Like, you remember how many people you remember the smoothie tweet? Everyone remembers this.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, like, the backstory.
I root for this Bucks team like I root for that Raptors team. I root for this Bucks team like I root for that Raptors team.
I
not much.
You know why? Y'all know why? Because this is a huge win for the smaller market teams. Like, I think I think Dame and others are looking around and still like not 100% sure if they want to leave yet. It's really like encouraging for guys like Zion that may get frustrated in the short term, but are looking at how if you build the right team around you, like you can actually make it happen in the face of all these big collaborations with all the big stars. So
excellent point with that. It shows you don't need to go to the big markets to win it too.
Yeah, but you just need to, and you need to get lucky. I mean,
for the what? This is the second small market team to win in the last 3 years.
Yeah, well, yeah,
it's good. It's great, but like y'all said, like everybody needs luck along the way. Like just like Toronto needed a couple years ago. Like even LeBron needed it last year. Like with 5 months off, you don't think they're healthy and rested, and like you don't think that their games transfer better than teams that are young that are away from home that don't play as well. Like that's a huge
5
part.
5 months off and nobody on the bench.
But I'm saying like that's a big bonus. You know what I mean? Like
especially for a player like LeBron to rest up.
And with the way we chronicle these champions too, like we look at every year where they fail, like first, second, or the conference finals, like those are always markations of like how they learn, how they progress. And I just think that this was their time. As much as we want to like figure out how Phoenix blew this, I just think that the groundwork's been laid for 2-3 years now with all the failures they've had in previous rounds. So
right. And that's why I want to appreciate what happened good for them and not what went wrong for the Suns. Right. Because you could blame Monty Williams, you could blame Chris Paul fucking up, you could blame Devin Booker not having 50 every game, you could blame DeAndre Ayton being soft as shit. But at the end of the day, that just undermines the fact that the Bucks went hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still got. I mean, they still.
Holiday isn't a big three. Drew Holiday isn't a big three. Not
offensively, but defensively. I mean, defensively, he had what, like the 3 biggest steals in the game. How many?
Devin Booker in Game 4 was.
I mean, if you think about it, that's what the steal on Devin Booker is. What the third most iconic steal in finals history.
Yep,
massive.
Now,
other than what Havlicek stole the ball, like how many other ones can you think of?
Jordan stripping Malone, maybe,
yeah,
because he recovered. Because Devin Booker recovered and Drew Holiday still made the play. I think was that the alley-oop or was that the rebound and Giannis finish?
That was the alley-oop. That was that. Like there was that. Like think about the defensive plays that are going to memorize this season. He had
defense
just this final. He has 3 separate iconic finals blocks in this finals. In the game 1, he had the chase down. In the game, 4, where he had the 8 block, which is the second best finals block of all time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. I wouldn't say without a doubt. I'll debate that, but keep going.
It's not one. Number 1 is the LeBron is the number 1 block. And then
I say Iguodala is number 2. Because if you remember, Iguodala got that block against LeBron that got him that got them the championship. And then LeBron got the block against Iguodala that got him. That's why
LeBron's Splitter on D-Wade.
Ooh, please leave me alone. They will never bring that block up again. How about that?
LeBron blocked Splitter too in that series.
How about we don't bring anything up against that Heat and Spurs one? How about that?
That series will make me so bad.
How about that? Dude.
Barz is giving us the Bobby Porters right now.
I can't. How about it, Knicks fans? Your third best player from last year is an NBA champion.
Dude, how mad is anyone that ever let Drew Holiday go? Like, think about it. Like, passed upon.
What are you talking about? The Pelicans got 5 first-rounders for him.
What did Philadelphia get?
They got Nerlens Noel.
Oh yeah, they got rid of everybody for Nerlens, and Nerlens is where now?
Well, he was hurt that year.
He's on my team.
That was still early
always
process.
Hurt. He's on the Knicks now. He's always fucking hurt now.
Who looks?
And I followed Nerlens during high school. Only player ever.
You know who looks worse today too is Eric Bledsoe, because he bitched and moaned trying to get out of out of Phoenix just to get to Milwaukee, and then they traded his ass, and now they won a chip because of it.
Traded his ass for the player that helped him get a player that ended up being the pivotal piece that they were missing the entire time.
Yes.
Bledsoe's trash. So it's not even.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to sleep for that, man, and it might be hard to sleep.
If they had Bogdanovich.
Exactly. It might be hard for other men to sleep like this. Why don't we focus on some of these Suns players and what does this devastating loss mean? Of course, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Christopher Paul. Oh, the journey continues. Some people think he might not even come back to the team. Has a player option going in the free agency.
Matt.
What's good? What's good, Barz? What do you think about Chris Paul and what is this gonna do for him? Or is he cursed?
Nah, man. This ain't even about Chris Paul. Sidebar. Devin Booker, your girl gonna leave you. And either me or Dolo gonna smash. That's it.
I mean, she's probably gonna leave regardless.
Yo, it's the Kardashian curse, son. Look at it. That's
that may be. That may be. You're making a great point. I mean, it's funny how this comes together.
Yeah, listen.
Elaborate on that for us.
What? I'm just saying, like, it's the curse, man. It's the curse. It's the curse. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to say nothing else. I'm just saying, Devin Booker, guard your bitch, because I might slap her, and if I don't, my man's will. Like, listen, that's it. Like, Dolo,
Don't involve me in this.
What you saying?
Nah, that's a married couple, my man. I can't get involved.
They're married?
Wait, they're not married?
Got married?
Nah, I'm just playing. But nah, she probably was gonna leave anyway.
Barz,
Barz. No, that's a big listen.
Barz, you could take Tyler Hero.
See, Tyler, I might crash out for that one. I might crash out for
y'all niggas is hey, facts. But listen, I can't do nothing for I'm not a Heat fan anymore, but I can't disrespect Miami and do anything that might jeopardize the championship and might stop me from coming back. You know what I'm saying? So listen. We gonna strict that comment off of this. Like, Matt, edit that out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my goodness.
Yo, but what was the original question again, Matt? I'm sorry. I had to talk shit.
You good. So we're just gonna focus on some of the players who are on the other end of the spectrum, what it means for them. Obviously, first the one, Chris Paul. Can we disagree? Is he cursed? Is it done? Yeah. Is he gonna keep trying? Wherever he ends up at the end of this summer, is this gonna be the team that turns it around for him? Or you could just not drop the ball anymore. And that trip in game 4, such a killer. Chris Paul, what's wrong with him? Why can't it's him and his team close the deal? What does this mean? Are you just going to, for the rest of his career, see, Chris Paul, you're that guy who can't win another ring? You're that guy. Your presence ended for the Suns. What's going on, man?
So there's a lot here. So first we have to go back to a lot of people are talking about, oh, this is like his third or fourth blown 2-0 lead. A couple of them, one of them was the Portland series where he got hurt, Blake Griffin got hurt, DeAndre Jordan got hurt, and JJ Redick all got hurt that one year. They literally had nobody on that team playing. It was like Austin Rivers was playing against Portland. One of them was in when he was in New Orleans as well. So it's not like this is a new thing. Like some of it is injuries. So I think there's a 50% chance he leaves for two reasons. One, Robert Sarver is historically penny pincher. Like they've lost a ton of players because he does not want to pay them and he does not want to pay the cap. So the place I think he's going to go is LA. I think he's going to the Lakers if they don't get Kyle Lowry. And I think Melo should go there. We should just banana boat it.
Just get it.
Might as well.
D-Wade came out of retirement.
Collect rings for everybody.
One last ring.
Just give it there, and then they could have DeMar, but I don't know if they're getting Kyle Lowry if he comes there. But like that's it. He's either staying in Phoenix or he's going to LA. He's not coming to New York.
Wait a minute. You're saying DeMar DeRozan has a chance of going to LA?
Yeah.
Where was this news?
Today. It was in
I fucking work too much. I'm dying right now. What?
It was out a week ago, too, Barz.
Yeah, but it's both of them for today.
Yeah,
look, there's only so much he can do. It's hard for a point guard of his size to just be the best player. We've seen that historically. He needs that other like big wing or big man to help carry him. And Booker can do Kobe, but you still need the big guy.
Yeah.
And, that's where it came. They just didn't have the size. Like they have a good, solid team, and it's, they're going to be able to rest him a little more. They'll have a little bit more depth in the offseason. DeAndre Ayton will, maybe get a better offensive game. But I mean, this was the shot. This was kind of why I think people were saying, it's kind of better that Phoenix wins because Chris Paul's the clock's ticking and Giannis is 26. Like, we expect Giannis to be back here. We don't expect Chris Paul to be back here unless he goes to LA.
Listen, if Chris Paul goes to LA and joins DeMar DeRozan, and LeBron and AD, that might be one of the most overpowered teams, low key.
Until they're all hurt.
Shite. He's got a point. So then I would substitute Chris Paul for Kyle Lowry just because there's a bit of an upside. And, but Chris Paul's only going to win if he goes to LA. And I agree with that. It's a fact.
I don't know. I think it's way too early to jump ship on and call it, good on what they did in Phoenix this year. Like, everybody had them at best a 4 or 5 seed in the West, and they way over exceeded that. And in a year
injury.
Yeah, but in a shortened season with COVID and everything, like, I think that they'll be able to get more reps in. I think it's too early to just call it quits on what CP3 has had an impact on as far as Booker as growth and development goes. And I think when you boil down the series, like, the biggest difference, because it is like when I watched the tape, like, they were in those last 2 games. I mean, not 6, but 4 and 5. They were in those last 2 games down to like the last 2 possessions. It just came down to execution and having a young team unfamiliar in the finals like that. So I think that if I was Phoenix, I would run it back. I would try to give him a 2-year extension. I would not push for 3 unless he's begging for it. And I would just try to run this thing back.
I mean, it's really going to come down to money. It's going to come down to, is Sarver going to, because after you pay Chris Paul, you're going to have to pay DeAndre Ayton next year. And I think you're also going to have to pay Mikal Bridges the same season. I don't remember which draft he was taken in. I don't remember if it's the same one. So the bill is coming. And this is from a guy who notoriously does not want to pay players. So, that's how they lost Rondo, how they lost Luol Deng, how they lost Iguodala, how they lost the Stoudemire. Like, it is how you lose those. That's what I think it is. I think if he doesn't get the money, that's where he's leaving.
But you know what, Bach, too? If you're Chris Paul and you're sitting at your pool this summer and you're like, man, like, I got $300 million in the bank over my career. Like, what else do I really want? Like, you don't think that there's some kind of negotiation with Zarber and with
yeah, but if at this point he really wants a ring, and it's going to come down to where do you think it's going to be ultimately, and the answer is how much money am I going to give up to go to LA? Because here's the thing, LA is ultimately going to have an issue with cap space at some point, because they already have the 2 guys under max contract. Basically, at this point they have like it's like Caruso, I think. Kuzma, so they're gonna have to figure out some type of sign and trade. You can't get
a sign and trade, yep. And they're gonna want THT. They're gonna want THT and Kuzma. But
THT decided to decline them and stay a restricted free agent.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like there's too many assets moving. So it's they're gonna have to figure out somebody's taking a pay cut, and it's definitely Mel.
But what I'm arguing is that on the opposite side of the spectrum, I'm saying that they have. I firmly believe that Chris Paul has a better chance in Phoenix to win a championship. So what I'm saying is he may have to take a pay cut to stay in Phoenix.
Front load that contract, pay him $50 million.
Because if he gets more money or asks for more money, he may not get to LA. And even if he does get there, they're not going to have the pieces to maybe close the deal. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, and I guess obviously everyone knows Chris Paul's ties with LeBron. As you said, there's not much else to prove. Why not just compile and see if they can make dreams come true? And, with that, as we're focused on the free agency anyways, why don't we just hit on some of the other big names coming into this late summer free agency season? Obviously, what are some of the big names we got? Whether it's Kawhi Leonard, if he's going to be taking his player option, is it going to be Mike Conley, Lonzo, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, John Collins? Lots to decide, lots to pick from, I guess. And then you could also throw in the factor, even though it would be a trade, is what's Damian Lillard going to do, though he did go out at his press conference saying his intentions to stay. So we likely won't have to worry about that. So what do we think is going to be the biggest move in terms of the whole season? Is it going to be the Chris Paul stuff? Are we going to wait to see what Kawhi does? What's Mike Conley going to do? As Bach mentioned before, are we going to have a reunion of Lowry and DeRozan teaming up with LeBron and AD? What are some of the names that give you the most excitement, and what possibilities are you looking forward to?
Ben Simmons trade.
Yes, other factor.
That's like the only star is moving. The other one, this is I was reading. This is a really under the radar one for Golden State's making a trade. I don't know who they're getting, but I was saying one. They go Wiseman 7, and then whatever else makes the math work, or maybe 14 as well for Eric Gordon and Christian Wood.
That is the worst trade.
That is a fantastic trade for them.
Eric Gordon
and Christian Wood.
Gordon. Gordon
and Christian Wood.
Eric Gordon.
Yeah, you bring him off the bench. They need more shooting off the bench.
No. Fuck no. Listen. I would never make that trade ever because Eric Gordon is old, getting tired. Nah, he's injury prone. I'm all right with that. Like, no, thank you.
He's there for the money. You want Christian Wood.
Christian Wood, hell yeah.
That's why you do the trade, is for Christian Wood.
Young, big, lots of upside.
Yeah, I would take that's Christian why you do for that trade. But then the other stuff is like most of the other guys are staying. Like unless Damian Lillard comes out and says I'm getting traded, most of the guys are like most of the like Kawhi's probably not going anywhere. And even if he does, I don't know if he's playing at all next year. We're talking about a guy who's notoriously careful with his when he's injured. So we're talking about a 9-month injury with the guy who's probably just going to skip the whole season. So there's that question. We're talking about Mike Conley's probably not going anywhere. They're going to run him back. Lonzo's done. He's leaving. I don't know where he's going, but he's not staying. Collins is
in New York.
That's probably where he'll end up. Collins is probably staying. I imagine they're going to keep him just for the
I wouldn't let
the assets. Markkanen's going to San Antonio.
Markkanen?
Yeah, Lauren Markkanen is going to San unless they take like Jalen Johnson in the draft. They might still sign Markkanen anyway.
That's a good pickup for Pop.
Yeah.
Like the other, there's not like a huge amount of free agents for this. Like who else are we talking about at this point? Did I miss any of the like Lowry's probably the biggest domino that's realistically going to.
And honestly,
it is a weak class this year. Spencer Dinwiddie's someone to look out for.
Well,
he's all right. He's straight. Honestly, Kyle Lowry, I would look if I was Pop, I'd probably pull up on Kyle Lowry.
No, they should not. No, Kyle Lowry is going to like one of the LA teams or like Philly.
Well, that was my segue. It's like you got to look at the contenders and like what the pieces they need because like I mean Tim Hardaway's like a good pickup. You know what I mean? Like, and then
do you think the Mavericks are gonna let?
No, they're not gonna let him go.
Well, they may package him in a deal though. That's kind of what I'm saying.
For Hardaway or for Lowry?
With who? And what would you think they would get for him?
No, not for Lowry, but they may send Hardaway. They may send him to Golden State.
Shit. That's
for what 7 and 14.
Yeah, listen. That's a good pickup. I mean, I wouldn't take him for the picks. I wouldn't I do a straight up trade for Tim Hardaway.
The problem Dallas has, they got to get off that. They got to get off that Porzingis contract. So if they can move pieces and they can package something together, that's their only shot.
Well, who's trading for Porzingis? Other like Sacramento. like who else is dumb enough to trade for right? It's either Sacramento or Oklahoma City because Oklahoma City doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
Well, if I was the Hornets, I'd trade for Porzingis.
I would not trade for Porzingis. They're going to take Kai Jones in this. They're going to take Kai Jones.
I'd give up Devontae Graham and Malik Monk all day.
No, you can let Graham walk and keep Monk for another season. But like there's no reason for them to spend. You're gonna pay $400 million for LaMelo in 2 years, and then they just build through the draft. They take another big guy and they'll be young. And it's not like
Porzingis has proven to be worth less than he was originally.
So there's no point in trading for him. So. You just build organically because guys are gonna want to play with LaMelo as much as they like hate his dad. But like the kid is, there's passing and there's a winning. You just need one more.
Yeah. They might want to play with him, but it's still a small market. It's still a small market though. Like Like,
Yeah,
They just got Gordon Hayward. They had they've had some big free agency signings. They haven't been fantastic.
So how much does that lock up their how much does that lock up their cap room?
So why would you add Porzingis
soon for a solid big piece? So
but I'd rather take Kai Jones. Why wouldn't you just draft Kai Jones?
Because he might not hold up to his potential in the NBA.
Yeah, but Porzingis is a proven liability and he's more expensive.
He's not a liability. He's just too expensive. Like, he's a nice piece, but you can't count on him playing 82 games.
Well, I'm negotiating his bitch ass down to less expensive.
You can't.
He ain't done. What? Right. What? How I can't when he ain't done shit? When he ain't done shit? Because he's signed in the contract.
This isn't like the NFL where they roll over dead money.
Right.
You're right. I get it. I'm bringing a lawyer out, and I guess I'm gonna have to rework his contract.
This isn't Pat Riley where the guy forgets to fax in the contract so they can sign Shaq.
The same way players can fight their way out of contracts and force trades is the same way front office can fight them out of their own contract and force trades. It's like, come on, stop it. It's bullshit.
You guys, let me ask you a question. One guy we haven't mentioned yet that's on the free agent list. I want to see if you guys think he has anything left in the tank. Victor Oladipo. If he comes back healthy, do you think he could be an asset on a winning team?
I think Miami's easily. I think Miami's going to keep him.
Yeah, didn't they sign him because he's supposed to be out like all next year, right?
He's technically
next year.
He's technically with Houston.
No, how is he still with Houston?
No, he's in Miami still.
We got him.
Yeah, that's right. My bad.
I thought he was. What happened to him?
He's recovering still.
Torn ACL.
Yeah, was it a torn ACL?
Yeah, but it'll be a year by then.
Okay, but I mean, he hasn't been healthy in 4 years?
Hey, he hasn't been healthy since that injury. And what was it, in Indiana?
I mean, he's had basically one season of proving that he can play.
In Oklahoma City.
In Indiana.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it's a torn quadriceps. Sorry about that.
Well, that's a big difference. That's good to know. Thank you, Matt.
It's good to know that it's not an ACL because
it's a quad injury.
The injury time, the recovery time, it's everything right there. So
I mean, he's not. They're gonna just hold on to him. There's no point.
Miami's gonna hold on to him, and if anything, by the time he's ready and he's showing some good upside when he's recovered, they'll trade him for some good value.
They'll do a sign-in trade with Dragic. I think that's another under the radar guy who nobody's talking about.
Yep.
Or maybe they should have traded
Tyler Hero. Dragon is scary.
For traded Tyler. Look, they're gonna come back with Precious next year, coming off a high of beating Team USA, so he's gonna be happy.
Listen, Precious is gonna push Bam to the power forward spot. It's gonna change the rotation.
Isn't Precious 6'8"?
Did we get rid of Myers? We should have kept Myers, and I think that's why. I know Myers said whatever he did and all that shit, but that was the hammer. Like Myers literally came off the bench, hit
I don't know who
pivotal 3 points.
You traded them all because you traded the poo-poo platter for Oladipo.
Do you know that Miami has a history of not having any big men outside of Shaq and Alonzo Mourning? Come on,
Yeah, and Giannis has them. So the five most iconic players in your franchise history.
Big man. Chris Anderson was a better big man than Giannis Haslam. Come on, bro.
How about Joel Anthony?
Please don't you ever mention that name ever again.
What about Eric Dampier?
How about you do that for me? And you never mentioned Hassan Whiteside.
Brian Scalabrine.
Oh,
was Scalabrine in Miami?
I don't know if he was in Miami, but
he was in Miami.
You talking about the one that was in fucking the Bulls?
No, that's.
By the way, I get it. I said the wrong person. I was talking about Birdman. I don't know why that. What was Bird's name? Yeah, Chris Anderson.
Don't disrespect Chris Anderson like that.
Looks like a bird. Look like a patriot. A parrot. Look like a parrot.
He's the illest white boy of Miami since white chocolate, man. Don't do that to Chris Anderson. Don't do that to Chris Anderson. Mike Williams was the illest white boy in Miami. Yeah.
That's a soundbite. Oh man, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, it is a weak free agent class. Maybe most people stay put, but it will be interesting to see as we hit in the dog days of summer. One of the things I also want to focus on, and we can definitely focus on this subject on a later date soon, we do have the NBA draft taking place this Thursday out of the Barclays Center. You have your top 5 drafts include the 5th pick or the Orlando Magic. Then it goes the Raptors, Cavaliers, Rockets, and Pistons, respectfully, with big names coming into the draft like a Cade Cunningham, a Jalen Suggs, a Scotty Barnes, a Jalen Green, Evan Mobley. There's lots of things to be excited for in this weird college basketball season.
I know none of them.
That's okay. You will very soon, but just hitting on the sphere with the draft, the best way to approach it, I think, is to basically, you could talk about who you want to see your favorite team get signed. Like for me, with the Knicks having 2 first-round picks in this draft, unless traded before the deadline, I'd like to see them focus on getting big men, get somebody passionate and thrown in there. Or do you want to focus on where you think the top 5 draft picks are going to go? I'll throw it to the floor with the draft. Bach, I know you have a great head on your shoulders when it comes to this stuff. What are you thinking about with this draft coming up?
Well, I'll take them separately. For who I really want Kai Jones in San Antonio, but I don't think he's going to make it that far. Who I don't want, I don't want I don't want either their 2 big foreign guys. I don't want that the Serbian guy or the guy whose name I can't pronounce. If we're not ending up with Kai Jones, I want Josh Giddey, the Australian kid. The top 5 is going to be Cade, and then it's probably Cade, the Jalen Smith, and Mobley, Suggs, and I think Scotty Barnes is going 5th. That's where it looks like, because Orlando needs to have another guy who can't shoot but can play defense. And then I don't know if Oklahoma, with Golden State ends up with either of their picks. I think they might trade them both because it looks like Kuminga is going to be the guy who falls. Because the reporting I've seen is James Boatwright's probably going at 6, so that means Kuminga would be there at 7. So I can feel like maybe a team like the Kings step up for him, or maybe San Antonio reaches up for him to get a Kuminga, or somebody like that, or maybe the Knicks reach out to Golden State for 14. But that's where I think the trades really start, around there. It depends also. I think Cleveland would be more open to a trade if the Rockets take Mobley, because none of the other top guys are they're guards.
Yes,
Green and
smaller draft this year in terms of more guard
at least
positions
on the top. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense for them to want those guys. So that's where I think on it. It's going to be like it's going to be, I mean, Cade is 1, and then from there we have who we know, and it's going to be changing by the trades, because I mean there's a decent amount of chances for trades in this one.
Yeah, and free agency doesn't start officially until August 2nd, so that would be next Monday. So yeah, a week from when this episode airs, that's when free agency officially starts. So again, those are the big factors here as we hit the end of the summer, or the second half of the summer. What are you thinking about when it's terms of NBA draft stuff, Alex?
Say it again. It cut out.
What are your thoughts coming into the draft?
I'm just keeping my eyes set on Cade Cunningham and Jalen Suggs. I mean, I know that Suggs had a big deep run in the tournament. He's got a lot of good skills. He's a good shooter. He's well disciplined. I've been kind of keeping an eye on them, and the kid Mobley from USC, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think the 3 of them are going to be big assets to any teams within the top 5 that are drafting. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they land. But I kind of agree with Bach in the sense that I think the trades, at the beginning of the teams are really going to determine the picks and where the teams really elevate. I think there's going to be a lot of shakeups there. That's kind of what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah. It seems a lot of things condensed into one in a 2-week period, which usually takes the whole summer. Thanks, COVID, for that. But it is going to be fun to see. And yeah, well, it's just a unique time for all basketball thrown at once. I mean, it is the end of July. We're talking about the end of the finals now. So just another thing in this period of life that was crazy. So last thing I want to do, gentlemen, I just want to focus on the too early to call NBA finals. Simple as this. Tell me who you think, with everything going on, even before we hit the draft of free agency, assume what you want is going to actually happen. Tell me who's winning the East, who's winning the West, who's winning the finals. And then when we could refer to this time next year where our predictions went on this July 23rd, the 2021, when we are recording it. Let's see how accurate we are. We'll start with Dolo on this. Who's winning these? Who's winning the West? Too early to call, but we'll see if you are right and make some bets on these picks right now. Go to Jersey and make it and see how accurate you were. Dolo, tell me what's going to happen next year.
Oh, shoot. Well, I'm not really too sure. I mean, that is a very early question to ask. The Suns were the first seed, this year. They did very well. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see Chris Paul leave.
Second seed.
A word, close enough. Like, I don't want to see them break it up. Like, I kind of want to see them try it again. I have a feeling that the Lakers are gonna make some power moves. It's already been in the talks. It's already been in the air. But I feel like whoever. I don't know. It's very early to call. If you're asking me, I don't know.
Hey, just throw it out there. Sometimes that's why it's so easy to call.
Yeah, I mean, if the Lakers get what they want, that's gonna be a problem.
So you say Lakers winning the West, who's winning the East, and then who's winning it all?
I feel like for the East, I feel like the Nets is gonna put it together. Yeah, I'm kind of out my depth talking about it like that, but I feel like the teams we expect to be on top, I think they're gonna be on top. I feel like the Nets is gonna make it. They're gonna click next year, and they're gonna be on top of the East. As far as the finals, them two go, I can't even call it. I really couldn't. I really don't know. It'd be between them two.
Would you just want to say one for the hell of it? Gun to your head. Who are you saying?
I mean, I gotta pick home side, right? Brooklyn.
All right. So you say Nets, Lakers finals with the Nets taking it all.
And that's just a very generic kind of thing. Like I said, I'm out my depth talking about that, but that's what
hey, we'll see a year from now if you get it.
Let's see.
What do you think, Barz? Where do you think this is going? What are we going to talk about a year from now?
I think it's going to be a dramatic shootout between the Lakers and, surprisingly enough, the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, okay.
And I think that they're going to make a vibe back for their dynasty push. And I think it's going to be a shootout between them two. Ultimately, I think the Golden State Warriors will pull out this time with a healthy Klay Thompson, and they will take the West. But I think Brooklyn will take the East and ultimately win the NBA championship. And Kevin Durant will get his moment to shine like a diva, knowing that he did it without joining the team that busted his ass the year before. You know what I'm saying?
There'd be some poetic justice right there.
Slightly, because he still joined the super team.
It would just be funny that he left the super team just to make another one, but that's cool.
Irony. What do you say, Alex?
I got Denver and Milwaukee next year.
Really? Not your Lakers?
I think that a lot of this stuff with the MVP discussion, people trying to take it away from Jokic, I think he's taking it to heart in the offseason. I think he's going to put the work in. I think Jamal Murray coming back, Aaron Gordon with a second year with reps. I think Austin Rivers coming off the bench and Morris. I think they're primed for a deep run. And I just believe in the process that they built with Milwaukee. I think fundamentally, structurally, they're sound. I think they could run it back and meet them in the finals again. And if I had to pick, I'm probably going to pick Milwaukee to repeat.
Okay. Bach, what do you think?
I don't know, but I had a really interesting thought. Like CP3 to Denver would be fun.
Oof.
That would be actually.
Yeah, you're throwing a monkey.
His
wrench.
West Coast tour.
Where would Jamal Murray go?
He's not coming back till April. He's an ACL tear.
Yeah, but he'll be perfect timing.
They can still play together.
Fresh, healthy, young. But he'd be recovering though, so it wouldn't be.
It's fine.
Time.
Are you kidding? You know how much better Michael Porter Jr. is going to be if Chris Paul is yelling at him the whole time?
Probably end up not liking Chris Paul.
All right, so if that's the case, if we're going to talk about monkey wrenches, then
no. This is not. But look, my prediction. I still think the Brooklyn's coming out of the East. I feel like it's the Lakers. It feels like a Lakers thing, but I think it's going to be Lakers Warriors. I kind of agree with Barz. They're like the only teams that like health wise I kind of trust to have the pedigree, but I still think
you trust AD's health for real.
I think LeBron has enough time off.
Damian,
look, you have to compare the other like real title contenders. Kawhi's not playing this year. I don't. The other option, it's them. We still don't know what's going on with Phoenix. I don't
talk about it.
And then Denver, I don't think has the firepower without Jamal Murray. So those.
I'm saying he'll be back.
Yeah, but even then, I don't really know. I still think I would trust it. Well, look, we're talking in a world where we're assuming he's healthy.
Yeah,
right.
We didn't talk about it. Damian Lillard is only being cordial. He's only being cordial. I believe he's only being cordial. After so many losses in LA, it's time. Excuse me, in Portland, it's time for him to go home. And we're all saying LA. He's gonna go to the Clippers.
Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
You think that will trade him for that?
They're not going to trade him to unless what are you going to get Paul George back?
Yeah, right.
I would toss away Paul George.
That's a solid trade though, both ways.
That's a fact.
I would trade Damian
because here's the thing, Bach. If you're Portland, you know that he's leaving. Then you got to get the best possible.
He's leaving, bro. There's no way.
Paul George is not. He's still under. They just signed him to an extension.
No. Dame's. No, he's saying Dame's leaving.
I'm saying Dame's.
Yeah, but why would you send him to LA when you at the
Why wouldn't you send him to LA?
Because
right. Why would you make your division worse?
Time out. Because if you're the organization that's losing your superstar, you have to get the best possible talent at the highest level you can get.
And he wants to go home.
That is not necessarily true. You just need to do whatever you do. No,
you
need to do whatever you think is for your rebuild.
Is Landry Shamet still on the Clippers?
Yeah.
No, wait.
I'm trading Landry Shamet.
No, because they're not going to accept that over like if
I'm trading Landry Shamet and Paul George for Damian Lillard. What are you talking about? All day, every day.
Historically, every team that's losing their superstar has only been successful at the highest level when they get the best player back.
But you have to build. Like, then you're not going to get a one for. First off, I don't even know if I would want Paul George over Ben Simmons anyway.
I would. What? I mean, over what?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to compete,
you wouldn't want to shoot
Paul George. But even if
Paul George is a two-way player.
Yeah, but if you're trying to compete, why would you just go for Paul George? Does Paul George raise your ceiling higher than having Damian Lillard does?
Because he may be the only package deal that they have on the table.
You can send him to New Orleans to get Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram's not even.
I would not take Brandon Ingram.
Or the piece.
I would never take Brandon Ingram over Ben Simmons. Are you serious?
Paul George. You have two.
Stand against Paul George.
You have two B+ players.
Yeah. No. Because I think Ben Ingram. Brandon Ingram.
If you're Portland, you got to take a package with Clippers if they offer.
Exactly. Hell
yeah, but if you're serious, first off, we have to assume that that's the only way that happens. If Damian Lillard says, "I'm only going to send me to the Clippers only." Also,
send me to LA. Period. Because I think that if Sacramento won't take him because Sacramento has De'Aaron Fox. So what you're gonna send?
Are you kidding? They would take Damian Lillard in a heartbeat. Damian Lillard has no.
Well, of course they would, but Dame's not going to go to.
Dame's not going to go to Sacramento.
Right. He's going to like four separate teams.
He's not going to go to Oakland. He's not going to go to Oakland with fucking with Golden State.
He would absolutely go there. Are you kidding? They would trade for
with Steph Curry over Dame Lillard.
No, they wouldn't trade Steph. What they would trade is 7, 14, and Wiggins.
Yeah, you do need to have picks included for that trade.
Okay. So you have Dame at the 1, Steph at the 2, Clay at the 3, Draymond at the 4. So who's your 5? Wiseman?
Yeah.
Wiseman?
Or Kevon Looney.
I mean, at that point, if you have Dame,
Looney?
Steph, and Clay, it doesn't matter. Your
Right.
offense
I'm bringing back.
Fives
Fives
don't matter the way they did. Fives don't matter the way they used to.
They can sign like any bum off
when
the
niggas is
street to
attacking your
play
paint like
center.
Giannis does. Fuck that. When niggas
How are
is
you going to
attacking your
guard
paint like
Damian
Giannis
Lillard and
does.
Steph Curry trading off 45-foot?
How the fuck you gonna guard the Giannis Antetokounmpo? Yeah, now we get to have this.
They signed PJ Tucker and
now we get to have this. No, fuck PJ Tucker, fuck Draymond. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. How are we gonna have this conversation?
But nobody can, bro. But nobody can. You got to do it in numbers. You got to have bodies. That's it.
Exactly. JaVale McGee is 3 bodies in one. And like, oh, come on. And like, so is DeMarcus Cousins. I'd have any of these guys over Looney and fucking Wiseman.
Looney's been in the system for a while, and Wiseman
and DeMarcus Cousins didn't get hurt this year, so I'm picking his ass up next year. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like, and he can shoot the 3. He can space the floor. He's a clutch free throw shooter. Damian Lillard, Steph Curry. A rod to top. That makes it gay because he's a liability. But if you put him in the right system, he wouldn't be. And he almost won a chip with that Golden State team. Come on, give him that. Healthy DeMarcus Cousins is a piece that can give you a chip.
DeMarcus
almost won a chip with that
Yeah, right.
He's healthy. Oh man,
he hasn't been healthy since that season that he got traded to New Orleans.
He was healthy this year. With the Clippers. Don't do that shit. He was healthy this season. Don't do that shit.
Well,
and he was in the playoffs. He's always in the fucking playoffs. Get his man that. He's always in the fucking playoffs.
He wasn't in the play.
He's willing to beat up a reporter for his teammates and him.
Get it in there.
Wasn't in the playoffs. So it was in Golden State.
Yo, listen. We're gonna praise Bobby Portis, but we're not gonna praise DeMarcus Cousins. Come on, stop this shit.
Bobby Portis is the NBA champion.
Now he is. His crazy eye ass.
Yeah.
It's funny how things work. Well, my pick for the too early to call finals, coming out of the West, I do think the Lakers are going to stack up and going to get more help. Don't forget Schroeder's a free agent as well, so I think they will replace it with someone big. You think he'll come back? Hey, it could be. But
we didn't forget. We just didn't care.
The terminal.
We didn't forget. We just didn't care. We didn't care. Fucking Schroeder wants to come in and talk about he wants to be a starter and he's not gonna take a back seat to LeBron.
It's only New York. New York is the only
city
that's gonna give him a starting position.
It's the only not even. You know the only other city to give him a starting position?
Who?
Detroit.
They're not gonna sign him.
Whoever's a Detroit fan. And
actually,
then
Boston could use him.
Yo, listen, playing 2K, I've won chips with many small market teams. Utah, Atlanta.
That is like the
Detroit,
worst way to say it.
No, not even close, because 2K is a very intricate part of basketball. You get to see a lot of stats that a lot of normal fans that are not able to see. You know, true shooting, effective field goal percentage. It's real shit. Don't sleep on 2K. Willie Hernandez, what is it? Willie Hernandez. He said he plays 2K to get himself better. Willie Hernandez Gomez.
Hernan Gomez.
You know what I'm talking about. He plays 2K to make himself a better player. And somehow this nigga is still not in the D League. So I guess he's doing something right with his life.
Where is it? Could you tell me what team he's on?
Willie Hernandez Gomez. I know he used to play for the Knicks, and now I'm gonna say this motherfucker is somewhere on the Pelicans or something.
I think he's in Denver, or maybe that's the other one.
Might be in Charlotte. I think.
One of them was in Charlotte.
There is two Hernan Gomez's. You fuck. See, that was
Willie Hernan Gomez is on the Pelicans.
Gang. Let's get it. Don't play me.
Oh well, I love making points for 2K. I love it.
That is not the way. Ty Lawson said that too. Ty Lawson said I used to go for 50 as myself. Ty Lawson's been in the league
50 as myself.
That's why I'm on this panel. I'm an expert somewhere, and 2K is my expertise. Listen, I'm on this panel for something. Like,
I love 2021.
I'm just sharp of this.
And the team winning the East is going to be the New York Knicks. I'm
right,
just
goodbye now.
kidding. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
like
If they get
and
Lonzo,
Head,
No,
he's signing off now.
no, I think the Nets are gonna get it.
Podcast.
I think the Nets are gonna get it. Yo, one last bonus point. Yo, who saw Space Jam 2?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, Novak, one.
I did.
Barz,
I
you
did.
saw it? No,
And
Alex.
Yes,
no,
yes,
Dolo.
yes. No,
And
my
it
mom
sucked.
saw it. My
You
mom
get-
saw it, and she said it was
Alex,
garbage.
did you see it, Alex? All right, bet. Now,
My mom
It
said it was
did
garbage.
suck.
let me tell you something without you taking any offense. Let
Okay.
me tell you something without you taking any offense. Your mom is a part of the old guard. Alex, did you see it?
No.
Alex, did you see it?
No.
You're a part of the old guard as well. You have to. You gotta watch it, bro. It's. You gotta watch it, bro.
I
Because
just haven't had time
you
yet.
have. Once you watch it, no. Once you watch it, you understand that it's 21st century, and that it's not. You gotta understand that when Space Jam came out, I was a fucking like I don't know, like a 4-year-old, like
It was late
when I
90s.
watched that dude.
96 is
Late?
the drop.
90
Yeah, so I was
yeah.
3.
I was
Nah,
barely
I
a
was-
thought.
I was barely like 5 years old when Space Jam dropped, and when I watched it, I was probably about 6 or 7.
They
Listen,
changed the game.
at that time, it was great. Now this new one is like watching Ready Player One, except
The
Nah,
movie.
You're there just to
That's
see
so
the Easter
bad.
eggs.
it's like watching Ready Player One is a great movie. It's
You're
like
there for the
watching
Easter
Ready
eggs.
Yeah, with except with 75% less Easter eggs.
That
But-
just sounds like a worse Ready Player One.
It's a basketball version. It's a Warner Brothers Ready Player One, because there's only so they Warner Brother Easter egg the fuck out of it. You know what I'm saying? And they even did a Michael Jordan reference. You have to watch the movie. All I'm saying is, I've been waiting. I wanted this to happen so we could talk about it.
I get it's probably less crazy than the last Fast and Furious movie.
All right.
No,
Not even.
I
No,
wouldn't-
definitely
no.
Fast is
Hold
crazier.
up. I'm gonna tell you right now. Before I watch the new Space Jam, I'm gonna rewatch Like Mike because that's a way better fucking movie.
Yo,
And
they
it's
have
100%
Jesse
one-
Plemons in
That's
there.
a basketball movie.
Yeah.
I was Space Jam New Legacy is a video game movie. It is not a. It's not a. It is a video game movie. It is not. It is a family movie. The first Space Jam was not a family movie.
I don't care.
This
It wasn't that
Space
good
Jam
anyway.
is a family. Exactly.
Wait,
Both
did you see the
Space
second Like
Jams-
Mike movie?
What?
With Kel.
Trash two.
With
the
Kel.
little nigga-
I'm
with
watching.
the little
I'm thinking
nigga-
Like Mike
with the
over
little
either
nigga from
one.
Big Mama's house. With the little nigga from Big Mama's house. Trash too. It was both garbage. Listen. Space Jam got trash reviews in 1996.
Yeah, it did.
When it came out 20 years later, it got good reviews because it was great. Listen, it was still fucking. It was still like
It was
Michael
fun.
Jordan being Michael Jordan, and eventually they played basketball, and Bugs
What
Bunny
I'm
was
telling
there.
you, is I'd rather take Like Mike over either one.
And that's
Like
a fact.
Mike.
Yo, listen. They had the nigga from Above the Rim, the black guy that always plays the black guy in the basketball game, in the basketball movies. He was LeBron's coach in the first scene of the movie. Listen, all I'm saying is, it's a family movie. It's not a basketball movie. It is not it is not a sports movie. It is a video game family movie. You're better off watching it, and then matter of fact, go watch Jumanji, and then go the new Jumanji, and then go watch Space Jam New
The second
Legacy.
one was so bad.
Do not watch Space Jam and then go watch Space Jam New Legacy. Do not do that. You will fucking hate the first one. Do not watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
The second one
and
with
then
that
watch
was
the
so
one
bad.
that dropped it.
The
Do
movie
not
was
drop
so
the-
bad.
Listen, the one that dropped this year is a much better Mortal Kombat period than any
That
of the
one
Mortal
that dropped
Kombat
this year was
we've
so
seen.
dumb.
It was
so-
fire.
It was so
fire.
dumb. It was so
It
dumb.
was fire.
Debate.
No, what? It was fire.
Matt, we need to have a different podcast just to argue movies.
Batch,
Oh
you need to
my-
invite
you
me
know
to,
that.
you need to invite me to your podcast so we can have this debate. Because
Dude,
if
I don't
you
have a
think-
podcast. I have I do Twitch streaming.
He's a Twitch.
Well,
I had
you
a
need to
Discord.
invite me. You need to invite me to one of your Discords and your.
I'll send you the
Twitches so we
Discord
can-
in the chat.
While you nuzlocke, so we can talk about this Mortal Kombat. debate. This shit is serious, dog. And the fact that you Nuzlocke, I'm a fellow Pokemon enthusiast, and I'm mad you didn't say something fucking sooner. Like, this is serious. Let's get it.
Well, I just did it as it's just something I was trying to do for extra views because nobody liked me playing Celasta because apparently all these fucking people hate D&D.
No one plays D&D, bro.
Dude,
It's
I
like
love D&D. I've had so
D&D.
much fun after the pandemic doing D&D. It's great.
I mean,
Dungeons
I
and
fuck
Dragons.
with games like D&D. I fuck with games like D&D, and there's a Star Wars version of D&D. Like,
Star Wars D&D?
serious. There's a Star Wars D&D.
There's
bro.
so much 5e that
You gotta get in
so
there.
many.
You gotta get in there. Like, and you can like I've seen some dudes they played. They opted out having the Jedi's. They didn't want the Jedi's because Jedi's are overpowered characters.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that build, and I've seen some. I mean, they made a Jedi class, but that's a. At some point, I'll send you guys the Discord so you can hop onto one of my conversations and just have a random ass talk about different shit.
And while we talk about stuff, I'm getting ready to make my splash back in here. With what's the word? The culture fan. That's that's what we bringing out. Me and a couple other heads. But yeah, I definitely got to get on that Fresh Faces Twitch.
I already
stream.
put the link in the chat, so I guess I'll put them all in there again. Once my actually hold on.
Yeah,
Listen,
we'll
Matt-
get that all
Matt-
together.
Matt is the god of bringing everybody together.
Let
We gotta
me-
respect. We gotta
Yeah.
respect Matt Bunny for what he does.
I appreciate you guys. And on that note, though this NBA season's over, we'll keep our conversation going with the
Shout out to
NBA.
Dolo for bringing us all together too.
And yeah, guys, just want to thank you. It was a great season on this. Well, we got to start right away. The next season starts right away with the free agency and draft, which will definitely continue the conversation with that. But it's been real, guys. The 2021 to 2021 NBA season was nuts. I'll let you guys say what were you about to say?
Real quick, Twitter just chimed in. DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry reportedly have interest joining the Lakers.
Yeah, that's what we were
That's
talking
what
about
I
like
said
an hour ago,
before.
bro. We were talking
Twitter
about that
just
like an
chimed-
hour ago.
Right, Twitter just chimed in, and I'm just saying, like, it's starting to.
Bro,
get
you
up
gotta
there.
get your news from the Atlantic.
The Atlantic.
Just
Hey,
came
man.
overseas for him. We good.
I'm a part of the old guard. I'm a part of the old guard.
Yeah. But guys,
Oh,
it's been real for sure. Oh man, I guess we lost Barz on that one. But yo, guys, seriously. Great talking to you, Hoops. We'll start again very soon as the NBA draft begins this week and the free agency period. Yo, once again, Alex Ranniello, thank you so much. David
Thank you,
Bach, aka the host of the Fresh Faces New Ideas Twitch stream. Thank you very much. Dolo Ren and Barz, the host of the Word for Word podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. And we will see you all very, very soon as the season, next season starts right now. All right, guys, caps off to you, and you have a great night.
All right, thanks, Matt. Catch you
Take
guys
care,
later.
man.
So
Yo, have a
long.
good night, guys.
Good
Everybody,
talking to
chill.
y'all.
Peace.
Squad.